Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
Grandma, what is new with you?
What is new with me? Well, this week, I really didn't do that much except for work with you. We've been busy running around. We've got something this week, I guess, being on live TV as well. So we've been sort of going over that. And I had a couple of actually social engagements in the beginning of the week before it started to rain, so that was good. And my hair didn't fall down, so I looked fine.
Always the most important priority.
Exactly. If the hair falls down, it's very bad. And, everybody seems to be in a mode of wanting to get back to just normalcy, which I'm so happy about. Because
isn't it funny that you're in a situation now where people are like, what's new with you? And you're just like, just working.
Yeah, well, this is very strange. People are laughing. They can't even get over it. And, of course, that was a conversation. How's it doing and what's happening? And I said, we've had so much fun with it, and we're doing very well. So we're thrilled with our progress over the year. And everybody wants to know a little bit about it. Yeah, and a lot of the fellows who work on Wall Street all says, well, can you come talk to me downtown and talk about social media to my group? I said, oh my gosh,
you have something to add.
Well, I don't think I have anything to add. I said, you better talk to my granddaughter. I don't know one thing on social media, but it's been interesting, and we're having a great time with it. I don't know, we didn't talk since we've been on QVC, which was a hoot.
Yes, I can't remember if we have now.
No, I don't think so.
Well, yeah, we did an interview, but I don't know if we've debriefed QVC. We had fun going to
We had a road
Pennsylvania.
trip. Yeah, we loved it. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
And it's funny out in their studio because it's like you're on a giant sound stage, but then it like looks like a living room. It looks like a kitchen. It's like a fake home, which
looked better than our home.
Yeah, honestly.
We felt like moving into a couple of those sets. The outdoor furniture one was very pretty. Anyway, we had fun with that. And I don't know, we've been just all over the place. You've been all over the city, right, Kim?
Yeah, I feel like I've been hanging out with friends in a lot of different places. I'm always in an Uber going somewhere, but no like really dates to write home about or anything specific. It's just been like same old.
Well, same old is good. That's we're not rocking the boat at all.
I guess so. And I'm getting excited because Halloween is coming up.
I know you love Halloween. I'm not a big lover of Halloween. I like the pumpkins. I like pumpkin pie. I like putting out the candy for the kids when they come. And I can see all the little children in our building, which are a tremendous amount. We're the oldest people in the building, so we have a lot of families that have moved in the last several years. And the kids come in, they're so cute. And I do them in individual bags now because I don't want their hands going into a big bowl.
When's too old to trick or treat?
Well, I think by the time you're 11, you should go out with friends and just do your own thing. I don't think you go to people's doors. I don't think.
I don't remember. I feel like I was doing it maybe up until
20?
13. I know. I think last year I went.
Right,
no, last year I actually did walk around the West Village and just look at the townhouses and the way they're decorated.
That's always
but
pretty.
I was not going to the door saying trick or treat.
Well, we have the most beautiful one on 78th Street between Park and Lex for years. I mean, it must be 30 years. They closed the block, and they have, it's a safe zone for the children in the area. And all the townhouses that are on that block, it happens to be a lot of townhouses, decorate the outsides of their buildings with all the goblins and the pumpkins and witches and whatever it is for Halloween. And it is so nice. I just hope it doesn't rain and spoil it that night because they really do a great job.
But like as an adult, celebrating Halloween is still a thing. You just are going to Halloween parties, but you're still getting dressed up and stuff. And this year I'm going to a 1970s themed thing at Zero Bond.
You've been doing a lot of 1970 things. This summer you went to one out in Amagansett,
yeah,
didn't
you? A bar that had like that music that night.
The ABBA music.
Yeah, it's pretty trendy right now, I guess, to be retro and back in the 70s.
I actually think that your brother was in London and he went to they had an ABBA concert.
Oh, like
which he went to
hologram.
Yeah. And he said it was great. So I guess you're right. I
interesting.
think everything is 70s again.
But why are they bringing back people who are still alive? You would think they would do a hologram concert of someone who's dead.
Well, I don't know. The music of the 70s was a good time. People who are dead that they don't even know their names
Yeah,
anymore.
maybe.
You know, I think sometimes that's too far back.
But yeah, that's kind of it for Halloween right now. I mean, feel like a lot of people use it as an excuse to dress pretty scandalous and take pictures. So
Well, I hope it's warm that night, Kim.
I know,
Because
no one's going to bring a jacket.
Exactly. And the ones you used to wear when you were at school, when you were in college, I used to laugh. It was so cold up there, and you were wearing these little waitress outfits.
Oh my gosh.
It was so
well, you
ridic-
really
I
dressed
don't know
like a
how you
slut in
didn't have
college.
Ithaca.
I did, but it was worth it to wear fishnets and no pants. Apparently, I would not make that same decision now. Probably. Recent videos we did, we baked an apple crisp for fall, and
Well, it wasn't so great. The apples
Yeah.
were good. The crisp didn't work. We did something wrong with the crisp.
it was a fail. But a lot of people were writing, being like, "You should have used oats, not just oat flour. Like you needed to add oats."
Yeah, the flour was the big problem. If you
No,
just
it wasn't. Like maybe we needed more
need some
flour, but we
crunch.
didn't even
We
have.
needed more
oats.
crunch and less sugar. Well, everybody loved my packing one.
Yeah.
That I've gotten a lot of calls on this. And ladies, you know what? Packing is very frustrating. No matter where we go, it seems like there's too much in a wheelie or even in a suitcase. And I'm sure I'm going on a week trip. I'm never going to wear half the things I packed. But you don't know what to expect. You don't know what weather is going to be. Even though I look at it on my phone to see the projected weather forecast, all of a sudden it could turn. So you have to be prepared. And I'm not really looking forward to having, which is what I see on my particular trip, is it's going to rain every day. So I went through my closet yesterday and found an old raincoat. I think I'm retrospective of the 70s on that raincoat. So
What are we gonna do when we're not together for over a week?
We'll talk to each other on the phone. We probably could Zoom.
Maybe
It's only
but
1 week.
You should enjoy your trip and not have to deal with
Well,
little
I
me.
might be desperate for a fix, for a
Maybe.
Kimberly fix.
Maybe I've heard that before. Are you watching anything good on TV?
It was called The Empress, and it's on. I don't know why I'm advertising Netflix, but it was a must see for those who like short and sweet. It was 6 chapters, and I believe it's a German production, and the actors were absolutely terrific, and they dubbed the only thing I don't love is that instead of I guess you have titles as well. I don't know why you would. They've dubbed it into English,
Yeah.
so the lips sometimes
I
don't
don't like
go
that.
exactly at the
I
same.
need to like
pace.
believe that it's
Exactly.
real.
I almost like the writing, the captions underneath it, and let it be in German. But it was about the Habsburgs in Vienna, and it was, first of all, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful period piece, and it was really very, very interesting. I'm sure half of it is made up for Hollywood, but I really did enjoy that.
Okay.
So that's a big recommendation. Somebody gave me the recommendation last week, and I binged. Like in 2 days, I was finished.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody can give us some more recommendations, I would be appreciative.
Yeah. I'm on my same reality TV binge, Kardashians.
Oh, no, I can't.
So good. Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, but meanwhile, that Kanye West, I think,
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to be putting it into a cuckoo house.
I know. The anti-Semitic comments.
But every comment he makes, I don't know why no one shuts him up. I can't, if you and I said the things that that these people say, we would be silenced. And I just think it's outrageous that even the press gives him any credibility. It's sort of sad, and his sponsors should back. Tell
I know,
him to
like
be quiet.
Chase, J.P. Morgan Chase made him move his bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not an advertiser. He
Right,
still
right,
has people. He's making a lot of money from these people and a lot of money for the companies. I just think he needs help. And I read this morning in the paper that Elon Musk is coming out with a perfume.
That's still a little cringy.
I don't think it's cringy. I think it's cool. I
So
think
is
he
it
should
like
put rocket things on his and little cars on his on the bottle.
There has to be something high tech about it.
I'm sure.
Because why would he just come out with
Well,
a
I don't think
normal
it's come out yet.
fragrance?
I think he's in the process
Discussing.
of discussing it. But I think whatever he does just tickles me.
Maybe it'll be something where you can like make it very specific to you by the
Oh, yeah.
creation of it or something.
Well,
I don't know. There has to be
there
something
are
high tech.
There are companies that do
Yeah,
do
that
that.
you can make your own fragrance.
Make your own
Yeah,
scent.
I don't
So,
know.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun to read about all these people who think of these ideas.
Yeah.
And it really is so clever. They come up with all these concepts, and we have to do something like that. Like Grandma Gail and Kim Musk.
Maybe not, but if there's any things that you guys would want branded by us, let us know, because it would be interesting to think about what product we could create. You are like usually my source of news, I guess, because the funny thing is I used to work in news, but I've like since really not been that informed, which I'm not proud of. I feel like you're overly informed. Is there any other news?
Well, besides the fact that Russia's is being ridiculous, and Iran, of course, they killed that poor child. So now they're protesting in the streets. Thank heavens, maybe we'll get rid of these people and that are running this dictatorial state. I mean, the world is sort of a mess, but you have to be optimistic because I believe young people are going to conquer the world and do great things and get rid of a lot of this bad stuff. It might not be in my lifetime, but hopefully in yours. And because I do think people are getting a little disgusted with the state of affairs.
Okay.
And also, the thing that bothers me a lot, Kim, and I guess you probably see it when you go to the market the one time a week you do, the prices on everything have gone sky high. And now that I don't drive because I've left the country, I don't notice the gasoline prices, but they say they're rising again. And, people on incomes, especially seniors, are really struggling. And I think young people are struggling as well. And we talked about recently the fact about the dating, about how much a date costs.
Right.
And I found it fascinating that the papers are writing about it. That people are struggling to be sociable.
Yeah.
It costs so much to go out, and so I think all these things are on people's minds. They want to have a good time, but their pocketbook hurts right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to figure out some cheap ways of entertaining ourselves again. Used to be drive-in movies, but that's gone with the wind, I guess. So
Well, you could watch a movie at home.
well, yeah, but that's not really like being out. with it.
Right.
Like I know we can have popcorn at home, and that's what people are basically doing. They're watching Amazon Prime or Netflix and enjoying their friends at home. But it's sort of fun to go into a theater and
like an
experience.
activity.
Exactly.
Because also, otherwise, if it's just like going out to eat, like I was just thinking about this with dating too. Like, how do I get to know someone's personality and like have experiences with someone if you're just sitting at a table talking about things about you that have happened in the past, or like what you do for work or whatever? It's not like you're not living. So
Well,
what are the activities you could do?
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever been anything. Relationships were never found on activities. You can basically take a walk in the park and just enjoy each other's company. I mean, unless you have a shared love of, let's say, tennis or golf, or you swim together. I mean, how that's just I think a secondary issue. I think more important is the face-to-face, and it usually happens around a dinner table where you can talk about your hopes and desires.
Yeah.
So don't give up on it. It's really the old-fashioned way still works.
Yeah. Well, maybe each week you can bring some news stories to the table that we can discuss from our perspective.
I hope more pleasant ones than this week. This week was not a good week for news.
Well, we can move on to talking more about dating. Since I have been thinking, Halloween is a holiday where a lot of people go out and they're dressing provocatively and they're drinking and whatever. What is too easy or too slutty? Like, what are some, I guess, tips of like, are you trying to play hard to get? You're not always free. You're not going over to someone's house. Like, do you have any?
Well, first of all, I think that women, especially in a big city like New York or New Jersey or Connecticut, let's say Stamford, Connecticut, any large city, I would be very careful as a woman to be too provocative on the street. It's one thing if you're going to somebody's home and you're going to have a party at somebody's home or apartment, but I think there's too much I don't know, angry people out there and people who have issues, and I would be very careful.
Well,
Women
you can just
walking
put
out.
a big coat on over what you're wearing.
Yeah, but you know what? You still have to be careful, and
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of drinking at the end of an evening can end up in trouble.
Right.
So just all the women out there who are doing all this partying over Halloween, just be careful. Don't take for granted that you're living in a completely safe situation.
And let's say though you're out with someone you're already dating or whatever, like do you, I guess this is like a rule that we talk about all the time of like when to go upstairs with somebody or whatever
When you want
it
to.
is.
I think there's no rule.
Yeah.
I think at this point, if you're in your mid to late 20s,
But I think a
you've
lot of
been
time-
around the block, that you know who's important. It shouldn't be a one night stand because it's
Yeah.
Halloween and you've had too much to drink.
Right.
Because that is just ridiculous, unless you want it to be a one night stand and then you'll never see them again. But I really think that my feeling on having a sexual relationship still depends on some kind of emotional feelings
Right.
that you have.
Right. So let's take the sexual part out of it too. It's just like you're thinking about someone that you potentially want to date. Like how should you be playing hard to get? Should you be dating other people until they, really make an effort?
Yes. I think you should be dating somebody until the day somebody says, let's be exclusive. And then
And it has to be a conversation.
and it has to be a conversation that, you know what, we're going to be exclusive. Let's try it like this. Then we're going to move in. Then we're going to get engaged. Then we're going to get married.
Kind of leads into like the big dating topic that I wanted to discuss of like how to be taken seriously as wifey material. People say like, oh, you're a wifey. Like you could be considered, like a serious girlfriend, not just like a fling. So how would you say you could get treated like wifey material? Like what are things you should do?
Kim, I really don't know, because I was always considered as wifey material.
Me too.
And I think that's something you have to project, that you're not easy.
You have to think about it like you have to think of yourself that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. First, it's about you. Where do you regard yourself? Where do you value your own self-worth? And then if you really like somebody and he really likes you, then you're on the step to a relationship. If it's one-sided, then it's not really a relationship.
But is it a bad stereotype? Like, if you're wife material, it kind of just sounds like.
Well, what about husband material?
Yeah, you're right.
There's some guys who are not husband material. They can't help it. They're not. They're into
But what
themselves.
makes it like you're good at cooking and cleaning and providing?
No,
like,
no.
what is the.
Well, I think it's a combination of wanting to share experiences together, whether it be sexual, whether it be emotional. Have to be on the same page with that. You like each other's company, you like each other's sexual relationship.
I think there are the cliches of like, if you're wifey material, you take care of yourself and other people, you're family oriented, you're positive, you're
Well,
like
that's just a good
wholesome.
person. That's just a good
you could be
person.
cute, pretty, and sexy at the same time. Like,
Yeah, but something, all those are just how you are about yourself. I don't think you have to sit down and analyze your different
Right.
attributes. But I do think, I think, especially what I see of young women today. I don't know. I can't judge the guys because I don't know that many 30-somethings. I think the women are not willing to commit to a relationship. They're looking for, and we've discussed this, they're looking for something that's in a book. Instead of reality, and nobody is perfect. Nobody. And I think you have to say, well, this is good for me. It might not be good for somebody else, but that's fine. It's what I want out of life, whether it be, we're just on the same page, and that's it. It doesn't have to be the love story of the lifetime. It's not about Princess Di and Prince Charles, where that was a fairy tale thing that exploded. It's about reality, and until the young people today, men and women, decide that this is where they want to go. They want to get married. They want to have a family, or whatever their commitment level will be. Then the relationship isn't there yet.
so how about when, like, I feel like you always say when I've been dating people like, oh, wouldn't it be nice? Like you could pick up this little treat for them, or you could do, you know, some nice gesture. And I feel like I'm always like, well, they're not my boyfriend, so why would I do that for them? And I feel like that's a mindset also that like I've seen a lot of girls my age have of like, should you act like a girlfriend before you're a girlfriend? Or should you, as we were saying before, kind of, you know, go about your life, be more independent, be a little harder to get. And then once you say you're exclusive in some way, like after you've gone on a bunch of dates, then you should be doing those nice things. Because why do they deserve that if like they're seeing other people?
First of all, if you remember our rabbi's speech over the high holidays, it was about being kind.
Yeah.
And I think if you are going out with somebody, you don't have to be necessarily in a steady relationship. What's the big deal if you buy a cookie that you know
Because they're
he
going to think you're in
likes?
love with them.
So if they're not in love with you, then you wasted $5 on a box of cookies.
It's just
And you
coming
don't
on
have to
strong,
be-
though, in the beginning. I don't know.
Well, I don't think you have to do it on a first or second date. But I think if you've gone out a few times and you know somebody loves those particular croissants at
Right.
a market that you live near,
Yeah.
what's the big deal if you pick up 6 of them and say, listen, I hope you enjoy these over the weekend.
So nice.
And expect that in return back.
Right.
If he's in his neighborhood and he's thinking of you and he knows you like certain kind of bars or something, he might say, you know, I got you a couple of bars. I'm going to drop them off.
Bars?
You know, those health bars, whatever they are. I'm trying
If a
to
guy was like, here, eat these health bars, I would be like,
but you'd
what
have
the-
to have said
Yeah, yeah,
to him
yeah.
that you like it.
No, I know,
You
I know.
there are a lot of ones that are. I know your mother has specific bars that she loves. You won't share.
Yeah.
So sometimes if somebody knows you like something, or even the fact that somebody brings you a bouquet of flowers every once in a while, that to me is how you date.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that you're going to end up together, but it leads up to a relationship. Because until you get to the point where you're in a relationship, you don't know where you're going to go. So I think all these little niceties that you can do for one another is not harmful. I think it's wonderful. And I don't think it should be exclusive for the women. I think that the men should do it as well.
Okay. Should we answer some listener questions?
Sure, let's hear what they have to say this week.
Okay. These were written in on Instagram. We'll probably answer a lot of them on Instagram as well, but we'll answer a few here. Do you think short hair is suitable for a 20-something girl that tries to be elegant?
I love short hair. I've had, and I've always felt that it doesn't. If it fits your face, you should wear the hairstyle that's good for you. Long hair, short hair, no hair. It doesn't make any difference if you're elegant and feel good about yourself. The length of your hair means nothing. Also, a lot of men like short hair, and a lot of men like long hair. You're not dressing for them. You're dressing for yourself.
I like that. Best classic piece of jewelry. You can't say wedding ring.
I can't say what.
No.
I would say probably a little small earring,
Yeah.
which I always wear.
But yours are big, your studs that you wear, or your clip-ons that you wear.
Well, they're not big.
I think of them as big versus a tiny little stud.
Well, I can't see a tiny little stud, so
I
I think
guess.
as you get older, you need to wear something a little bigger.
Maybe. Favorite thing about Kim?
My favorite thing about Kim,
There's so many, but
there's so many. I'm finding it difficult to come up with
Yeah,
my
okay.
favorite. I think my favorite is that she works very hard and she really wants to succeed in her life.
Thank you. Favorite ice cream flavor and why?
Oh, well, that there isn't even a conversation. My favorite ice cream flavor is mocha chip.
Oh my god, I
Because
was
I
not
love-
going to say that for you.
Oh, I love coffee ice cream, and when they added the chip in, it made it over the top. So, but there's certain mocha chips that are better than others.
Okay.
So, and I'm
Which
not going to
is-
give. I don't think
oh.
I should give an advertisement
Okay.
to the different ice creams.
Okay.
But there's
Fair.
some that have big chips, some that have
Yeah,
small chips.
sure.
So, but I do love mocha chip.
Yeah. I like things with a lot of stuff in it, with like brownie and cookie dough, and I don't know if that's a specific flavor. I guess I like Oreo or pistachio.
But I
like
must
too.
tell you, for the viewers who are listening to us or listening to the podcast, we got a very wonderful Israeli company opened on the Upper East Side about 2 years ago.
And in Chelsea.
And now in Chelsea. And I think there's one downtown in
Oh.
Soho area. it's called, I'm going to give them a commercial because it's the greatest place I've ever been in. It's called Anita's.
Anita Gelato, yeah.
And the ice cream is so far superior to anybody's ice cream. I dare you to compare this to any brand. You're going to walk away saying, Grandma Gail, you're absolutely right. Go to them and have a cone and tell them Grandma Gail sent you. I should get some.
They have no idea who you are.
They have no idea.
So that would be weird.
Well, but we'll have fun. Maybe they'll say, okay, you'll give Grandma Gail a free cone.
Why does an ex that broke up with you keep messaging and sending memes?
I don't know, but I wouldn't answer it. I would delete him completely. It's one thing if you break up with somebody and you decide, you know what, we can still be friends, which is very hard. That's a very difficult thing. But if he's texting you and doing memes all the time, I would say, you know what, our relationship is over, and please go on, move on to the next.
Yeah, I think it depends how you feel about them.
Exactly.
Like if you are,
and how nasty and how nice or how nasty the comments are.
Yeah, I'm sure they're nice.
Well, if they're nice, then you know what? He's thinking of you still. But if there's no point to dragging it out at all, when an ending is an ending usually, unless sometimes it comes back, which we've heard on our podcast. A lot of the people, you know, the 5 years later, all of a sudden you reconnect, and if you didn't have a terrible breakup, sometimes it works. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's a maturity level too for both of you. Sometimes one person isn't ready and the other is, so it's a lot of it is timing.
Mm-hmm. What is Grandma's favorite outing other than spending time with her granddaughter?
I think my favorite outing is going to, well, it used to be my favorite outing. It's really not anymore because I haven't done it in 2 years, was going to theater. And I know I'm still hesitant because I don't love wearing masks for 3 hours. But I will get back to it, and that is my favorite outing.
How do you best handle grown-up mean girls?
Well, I ignore them. And I know.
Do you still run into them?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of jealousy. You can't imagine that people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s can be jealous. And they are, for whatever reason, whether it be about your relationship, about some material issues, or just about your family, that they're angry with their family. So you almost have to say, I can't have them as friends, and I don't want to respond to them. Mm-hmm. I try to eliminate people who are not good well-wishers.
Yeah, and I guess I'm considered a grown-up too, so like women in their 20s and 30s that I know who are like cliquey or whatever else.
Well, cliquey isn't the same thing. There can be cliques,
I guess,
and you can and you could say, fine, I don't want to even be in your clique,
right?
You know, as long as they're not mean to other people outside the clique. Everybody has some people they like better than others. That I don't care about. It's when they're mean to the other person or the outsider, and you know what? Don't tolerate it. Walk away.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we will answer the rest of them on Instagram because there's a lot of great
ones. We'd be here till midnight.
So for our 1950s movie of the week, we're going to stay in the Halloween theme.
Very, very scary movie that you're going to talk about, Kim.
Psycho.
With, I have to tell you, I still have dreams about, who was the actor?
Okay, wait. We know it was a Hitchcock movie in 1960. Anthony Perkins.
Oh, Anthony Perkins. That shower scene in that movie still haunts me. I still go into a motel and look behind the shower curtain, make sure nobody's there.
Yeah.
So for those who want to get scared while you're home during the Halloween season, this is a movie that will really put you in the mood.
Okay. Another great episode of Excuse My Grandma. You know how to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Excuse My Grandma, and send the podcast to your friends. Rate us 5 stars if you don't already. And we'll see you next week.